Weekend, one of the biggest fights of the year is going down on Showtime. The legendary Canelo Alvarez versus my Texas brother, Jermell Charlo.
For the big fight, we're partnered with DraftKings, giving all new customers a can't-miss offer.
Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings app now. Use promo code SMOKE when you sign up.
Stack, what's your prediction for the big fight?
My heart's saying Charlo, but I know how experienced Canelo is. He's the face of boxing, and he's been in big fights before. I think it's going to go to a decision, and I think Canelo might pull it off.
New customers, you heard Stack. Download the DraftKings app now, use promo code SMOKE, and make your picks.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use promo code SMOKE. Bet $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SMOKE, only at DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Like my hair, bro? Like my hair?
Mm-hmm. History beckons in Las Vegas. Undisputed versus undisputed. When four-belt super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez welcomes undisputed 154-pound king Jermell Charlo. 1 day away this Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. But welcome in from the Toshiba Plaza outside of T-Mobile Arena. This is Showtime Sports coverage of the weigh-in. All things Canelo versus Charlo. And I'm Brian Campbell alongside my morning combat co-host here on Showtime Sports, Luke Thomas. You know the champ right there, El Diamante, Raul Marquez from Showtime Sports. And how about one half of all the smoke, one half of Fight Towns, and a 2003 NBA champion, Steven Jackson. Fellas, this is the big time for Canelo Alvarez. He's been here before, on top of the sport for 10 years. For Jermell Charlo, this is number one. Steven Jackson, what is Jermell Charlo up against Saturday night?
He's up against the biggest fight of his life. You know what I mean? I mean, he's definitely had a lot of experience, but Canelo's been here a million times. He's been on this level a million times. He's fought bigger fighters, he's fought smaller fighters, and he's came out on top all those times. So this is a big moment for him. In any sport, you want to get to that point where you're testing the best and you're testing yourself. And this is a chance for him to make history. Let's see if he's up for the moment.
We're going to have a lot more from here after the Canelo Charlo and this explosive pay-per-view main card after all the fighters take to the scales. But until then, let's go to the stage in Toshiba Plaza to the Hall of Famer and the classy one, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Toshiba Plaza outside T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Canelo Promotions presents this Premier Boxing Champions weigh-in. It is all brought to you by Canelo Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. It is undisputed versus undisputed, Canelo versus Charlo. The event is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's the ultimate one-stop shop for all your automotive supplies. Everything for your vehicle in one convenient place. That's O'Reilly Auto Parts. And VMC Tequila Cocktails. El Origen ante todo. Celsius Live Fit Essential Energy. From Jalisco, Mexico, the champion of all tequilas, Híjole Tequila. And brought to you by The Exorcist Believer, only in theaters today. The Showtime pay-per-view begins 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. Before we get to that, though, we have our Showtime pay-per-view countdown show, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. Now, let's meet our fighters. 8 rounds in the middleweight division, introducing first with 23 victories, 13 by knockout, opposite of 8 defeats and 1 draw. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama, presenting Keandre Leatherwood. And now introducing his opponent with 23 victories, 12 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw, representing Cleveland, Ohio. He is a 2012 U.S. Olympian. Here is Terrell Gausha. All right, first fighter to step onto the scale once again out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Here is Keandre Leatherwood. $162.4 for Leatherwood. Next to step onto the scale, his opponent once again, the U.S. Olympian Terrell Gausha. $162.4 for Gausha. This is one of 3 fights on the Showtime pay-per-view countdown show tomorrow. 8 rounds in the middleweight division. Keandre Leatherwood against Terrell Gausha. And now we will head to our light heavyweight division. Introducing first with a record of 28 victories, 22 coming by way of KO, opposite of 4 defeats, representing Moca Juba, Brazil. Here is Isaac Rodriguez. And now his opponent coming to the stage with 19 victories, 15 by knockout, and just 1 defeat. Fighting out of Oxnard, California by way of Ukraine. He is a former light heavyweight champion, Alexander "The Nail" Voidstick. And now, the first fighter to step onto the scale. Please welcome, once again, from Brazil, Isaac Rodriguez. $183.2 for Rodriguez. And now his opponent getting set to step onto the scale, the former light heavyweight champion, Alexander "The Nail" Voidstick. $174.3 for The Nail. 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Isaac Rodriguez against Alexander the Nail Voistick. And now we head to 10 rounds in our heavyweight division. Introducing first with 17 victories, 9 wins by knockout, opposite of 5 defeats and 2 draws, representing Los Angeles, California. Here is Scott, the One Alexander. And now let's welcome his opponent. He is undefeated, 22 victories, 15 by knockout. He's representing Miami, Florida by way of Cuba. He is the number 4 WBC heavyweight, Frank, the Cuban Flash Sanchez. And now first up onto the scale. Once again, Scott, the One Alexander. $217.8 for Alexander. And now we welcome his opponent, the hard-hitting top heavyweight contender, Frank, the Cuban Flash Sanchez. $241.6 for the Cuban Flash Sanchez. Once again, this is 10 rounds for the WBC Intercontinental Heavyweight title. Scott, the One Alexander, taking on Frank, the Cuban Flash Sanchez. This will be a part of the Showtime pay-per-view countdown show beginning 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific from T-Mobile Arena on the Showtime Sports YouTube page. And now let's turn things over to Showtime's own, the Boxing Hall of Famer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, indeed a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the pay-per-view portion of our official weigh-in for our big night of action taking place tomorrow night right next door at the T-Mobile Arena here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, as Canelo Promotions presents a premier boxing champions pay-per-view attraction brought to you by Canelo Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. Well, fans, our opening attraction, we're ready to bring them to the scale and to the stage at this time. It is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. By Celsius, Live Fit Essential Energy. And from Jalisco, Mexico, the champion of all tequilas, Hijole Tequila. All right, fans, let's bring out our fighters to the scale and our opening attractions. It's a middleweight attraction, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. First, from Nayarit, Mexico. He's the WBA number 9 ranked middleweight in the world. Please welcome Armando Toro Resendiz. ladies and gentlemen, joining us from Whitman, Arizona, he's the WBC number 6 middleweight world contender, the young middleweight sensation, the undefeated Elijah Garcia. All right, fans, let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. Middleweight's 10 rounds of boxing with a record of 14 wins, 1 loss. He has 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the world-ranked middleweight contender, Armando Toro Resendiz. Armando Resendiz weighs in at 159 and 1/2 pounds. 159 and a half. And now we invite his opponent to the scale with a record of 15 wins, no losses. 12 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is the young undefeated southpaw middleweight world contender, Elijah Garcia. Elijah Garcia weighs in the same as his opponent, 159 and 1/2 pounds.
Please throw to Brian Campbell for him. Thank you. Give him some time, right? Got it.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Elijah Garcia, Armando Toro Resendiz opens up our pay-per-view event. 10 rounds of boxing at a middleweight, special attraction. Once again, we're pay-per-view. Opening fight on our pay-per-view attraction starts at 5 p.m. local Pacific time, 8 p.m. in the East. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to handle our interview, please welcome to the microphone the respected combat sports broadcaster, Brian Campbell.
Thank you, Jimmy. Here with Armando Resendiz. Martin Bater will do the translating. Armando, the last time we saw you, you upset and knocked out former unified champion Jarrett Hurd. What should we expect from you Saturday night?
Armando, la última vez que te vimos no solo le ganaste, sino que noqueaste a un campeón unificado como Jarrett Hurd. ¿Qué podemos esperar de vos este sábado por la noche?
Bueno, la mejor versión del Toro Resendiz. Vengo bien preparado, como siempre. Yo me preparo al máximo y cada vez damos más en el entrenamiento. Y pues estamos muy contentos por estar aquí en esta gran cartelera.
You can expect the best version of the Toro Resendiz. I train really hard, and I'm really excited to be out there Saturday night for all of you out here.
Thank you. Best of luck to you, Armando. Just 20 years old, Elijah Garcia. You've already accomplished a lot in this boxing game. What are the emotions, though, stepping up here at the pay-per-view level against a tough opponent on Saturday?
I've been here before my last fight, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm blessed, and I'm ready to, put a show on for the fans. I'm excited.
What type of statement should we expect from you?
None. Armando Resendiz, real tough opponent. I just want to prove that I'm on another level, and I'm ready to,
Are you going to do that again?
compete with these world titles.
Yeah, definitely.
Best of luck to you, Elijah.
Yeah, I'm going to welcome them to the next. I'm going to set it up. Sure. Okay, you're up.
All right, fans, here we go from the Toshiba Plaza here in the shadows of the T-Mobile Arena, the site of tomorrow night's boxing spectacle. We continue with a weigh-in with an interim world title attraction. It is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. By O'Reilly Auto Parts, the ultimate one-stop shop for all of your automatic supplies. Everything for your vehicle in one convenient place. That's O'Reilly Auto Parts. And by VMC Tequila Cocktails. El Origen ante todos. And by The Exorcist Believer, only in theaters this Friday. All right, fans, here we go. This bout is for the interim WBC welterweight world title. Please welcome to the stage, first, from the beautiful city of San Antonio, Texas, the former WBA super lightweight champion of the world, Mario El Azteca Barrios. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, fighting out of Miami by way of Santiago de Cuba. He's the former WBA welterweight champion of the world. Please welcome 54 Milagros, Yordenis Ugas. And it looks like our fighters are ready to step onto the scale at this time. The weight limit on this fight is a very strict 147 pounds. It's for the WBC interim welterweight world title. First to the scale with a record of 27 wins, 2 losses with 18 knockouts. The former world champion, the current WBC number 4 welterweight in the world, Mario El Azteca Barrios.
.8.
146 3/4 pounds, 146 3/4 pounds for Mario Barrios. And now his opponent to the scale at this time, his record 27 wins, 5 losses with 12 knockouts. Here is the former world champion and the current WBC number 6 ranked contender, 54 Milagros, Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas weighs in right at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBC Interim Welterweight World Championship. Yordenis Ugas versus Mario Barrios. Once again, to handle the interview process, my pleasure to introduce once again Brian Campbell.
El Azteca, Mario Barrios. This crowd knows what you're about. No stranger to the pay-per-view level. No stranger to bringing it against the best in the world. What's different about this fight for you?
Nothing, you know. Like I'm bringing that same energy come Saturday. You know, I'm gonna give it everything. You know, to make sure I take that belt home back to San Antonio. You know, man, I'm pumped.
You know, Ugas is no slouch. What are you looking to prove Saturday night?
I'm looking to prove, you know, that everything, you know, to the welterweight division, you know, just everybody, you know, make my presence known.
El Azteca back in the building. Best of luck to you Saturday night.
Thank you. Puro sangre mexicano.
Yordenis Ugas, once again, Martin Bachter to translate. We haven't seen you in almost 16 months since the Errol Spence fight. The healing is finalized. What should we expect from Ugas on Saturday?
No te vemos pelear desde 16 meses de que peleaste con Spence. Ya está sano. ¿Qué podemos esperar de Yordenis Ugas este sábado?
Bueno, pelear lo mejor de mí. Ya sanamos todas las heridas. Estamos listos ahora para darle una gran pelea, especialmente a todos los fans.
All wounds are healed. You can expect the best of me, and I'm here. I'm ready to give a great fight to all the fans out there.
You know what Mario Barrios brings. What type of fight should we expect Saturday?
¿Qué tipo de pelea tendríamos que esperar contra Mario Barrios este sábado?
Bueno, somos dos peleadores, siempre estamos en pelea competitiva, dos peleadores ofensivos. La mejor pelea a los fans.
We are two fighters that like to go at it. It's going to be the best kind of fight, the kind of fight that you're going to love.
Best of luck to you, Dennis.
Well, fans, our co-main event of the evening is a special attraction in the super welterweight division, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. And by Celsius, Live Fit, Essential Energy. And from Jalisco, Mexico, the champion of all tequilas, Hijole Tequila. Please welcome to the stage our co-main event of the evening. First, from Orlando, Florida. He's the former world title challenger, the current world rank contender. Please welcome the Hammer, Erickson Lubin. Ryan, hang on. And now his opponent joining us from Casa Grande, Arizona. Here's the young undefeated world ranked contender, Jesus Mono Ramos Jr.
Me muera, sé que tendrás que llorar. Llorar y llorar, llorar y llorar. Dirás que no me quisiste, pero vas a estar muy triste, y así te vas a quedar.
All right, fans, let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. The weight limit on this fight is a very strict 154 pounds. It is for the dual championship, the WBC Diamond and WBA Super Welterweight World Title Eliminator. First to the scale, with a record of 25-2 and 18 knockouts, the acclaimed world rank contender, Erickson the Hammer Lubin. Erickson Lubin weighs in at 153.5 pounds, 153.5. And his opponent, with a record of 20 wins and no losses. With 16 of his wins coming by way of knockout, he is the undefeated Southpaw world rank contender. Please welcome Jesus Mono Ramos Jr. Mono Ramos weighs in at 153.5 pounds, 153.5. Ryan. This is our co-main event of the evening. You do not want to miss this action. 12 rounds for the WBA Super Welterweight World Title Eliminator and WBC Diamond Belt. Jesus Mono Ramos versus Erickson the Hammer Lubin. Once again, re-handed over to Brian Campbell. Brian, take it away.
Thank you, Jimmy. Here with the Hammer, Erickson Lubin. You've been a part of great action fights before. The fans, they're expecting fireworks on Saturday. Is that the type of fight you want?
Absolutely. You know, we drew up a game plan. We ready to go. You know, Jesus Ramos is a good young fighter, and we're ready to take care of business come tomorrow night.
You've been a part of big fights before. You always chase the best. How do you beat Jesus Ramos tomorrow?
We got the game plan drawn up, but I will come out victorious. Hammer time.
Thank you so much. Best of luck. And here he is, Jesus Ramos Jr. You heard the pop from the crowd. They are big fans. What do you plan on delivering to your fans Saturday night?
Gracias, gente. Estamos listos para mañana. Gracias. We're ready, man. We're ready for tomorrow. We're going to put on a great show. It's a great fight, a great card, and a great event, man. We're ready.
I don't need to tell you how big you're looked at as a prospect for this division and a future star. How tough of a matchup, though, is Erickson Lubin?
Very tough. But like I said, we're ready and excited for this fight tomorrow. Y arriba México, así es.
Best of luck. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to bring out our fighters for the main event of the evening, Undisputed versus Undisputed. It's time for Canelo versus Charlo.
It's a high-stakes duel.
Call it purposeful ego or defiance born deep. Whatever the impetus, two undisputed share the same superpower, an insatiable desire for more. Still, with these venerable/volatile champions, don't mistake fame or follower counts for anywhere close to complete. Sure, Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo have proven most everything. But what they've proven more than anything else is there's always something more to see. Canelo made his boxing bones in the wrist business. His fists blueprints for money-making. His career a series of epic triumphs.
De retos es lo que me mantiene motivado en el boxeo. Quiero que la gente siempre me recuerde como un gran deportista, como un gran campeón y como uno de los mejores.
His opponent believes views of his legacy remain at least incomplete. The concept applicable to anyone unknown or incapable of fully witnessing his greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the wall-to-wall sea of people here in Toshiba Plaza in Las Vegas, Nevada, Canelo Promotions presents the Premier Boxing Champions pay-per-view main event brought to you by Canelo Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. By O'Reilly Auto Parts, the ultimate one-stop shop for all of your automotive supplies, everything for your vehicle in one convenient place. That's O'Reilly Auto Parts. By VMC Tequila Cocktails, El Origen Ante Todo, and The Exorcist Believer, only in theaters on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time for the main event of the evening, Undisputed versus Undisputed. First, I present the challenger from Houston, Texas. One of boxing's exciting world champion twins. Here is the two-time world champion and the current undisputed 154-pound champion of the world, Jermell Iron Man Charlo.
This is something I know. So tonight I just feel like we're in Houston, taking every day slow, so slow, so slow. What a good
And now the defending champion from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. He is the 4-division world champion, the one and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez. the stage, here he is, the one and only Saul Canelo Alvarez. All right, fans, here we go. We're ready to bring our fighters to the scale at this time. The weight limit on this fight is 168 pounds even. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. First, the challenger. With a record of 35 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw, he has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. He will be making his 10th world title appearance. Please welcome the hard-hitting, the acclaimed, the undisputed 154-pound champion of the world, Jermell Iron Man Charlo. Jermell Charlo weighs in at 167.5 pounds. 167.5 pounds for the challenger. And now the defending world champion with a record of 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, with 39 wins coming by way of knockout. He will be making his 24th world title appearance. Please welcome the superstar of boxing, el orgulloso guerrero de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez weighs in at 167.5 pounds, 167.5. The fight is on. Undisputed world champion versus undisputed world champion for the super middleweight and undisputed championship of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez, Jermell Iron Man Charlo. Once again, Brian Campbell, take it away. First interviewing Jermell Charlo.
The undisputed king at 154 pounds. You were just able to look deep into the eyes of Canelo Alvarez. What did you see?
Hey, it's time to fight. Let's get ready. We're bringing this shit to Las Vegas. Lines only.
Jermell, you've been calm, cool, collected throughout this build. When does that switch flip and the lion comes out?
When it's time to step in that ring, we know what time it is. It don't matter how they hype him up. They got it popping in here. I love it. I enjoy it. I do this for us, baby. I do this for that culture that they talk about. I do this for the culture that they hate on. Hey, it's time. I'm a bad motherfucker.
One more. You can hear this is Canelo territory. What are they going to be saying about Jermell Charlo Sunday morning?
Hey, Lil Charlo, a bad motherfucker. Yes, sir.
Best of luck to you, Jermell. The Mexican icon, the King of Kings at 168 pounds, Canelo Alvarez. You've been here so many times. What's special about this matchup, this day, this site right here?
Es muy especial para mí estar con ustedes. Muchas gracias. Gracias por su apoyo. Significa mucho para mí tenerlos a todos ustedes aquí. Es una gran motivación y el sábado van a ver algo impresionante.
It means a lot to me to be here with all of you. It's truly something unbelievable. And I'm really proud to be here, and I hope it's going to be a great fight.
Canelo, you saw Jermell Charlo. We wanted to see what he looks like at 168 pounds. Do you expect the size difference to play a factor on Saturday?
No, I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, the size factor is no matter here. I did that before, and I feel good. So it's going to be a great fight. And I'm ready for everything.
Well, I asked Jermell what he saw when he looked into your eyes. What did you see looking at the lion that's ready to be unleashed?
You know, you can't tell what you see. You just tune in the fight Saturday night. It's gonna be amazing.
They've said this is the house that Canelo built. Your fans are here. Any final message before Saturday?
Ya, gracias a todos. Nos vemos el sábado para una gran pelea. Y quiero decirles algo más. Sé que han estado en el sol. Y háganlo con responsabilidad, pero por ahí debe de andar una de las BMC. ¡Viva México, cabrones! Eso significa BMC. Vayan y agarren, que yo invito. Yo invito para todos ustedes. Gracias por su apoyo.
BMC on me for everybody, and thank you for your support. I thank you all for coming here, and I'm waiting for all of you on Saturday night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saul. Good luck to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Canelo Promotions, Premier Boxing Champions, TGB Promotions, Showtime Pay-Per-View, we thank you very much for your attendance here this afternoon. Do not miss this historic showdown tomorrow night, Undisputed versus Undisputed. We cannot wait. We will see you there. Good afternoon, everybody.
All right, there is nothing left but the fights themselves. Welcome back. Hi, everyone. We are back. Luke Thomas, Raul Marquez, and Steven Jackson. The weigh-ins are now in the books. Brian Campbell will join us in a moment. We have a lot to react to, a lot to get to. First, one message, if I may. We are here in Las Vegas for the Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo showdown. You can just feel the buzz as we're just one day away. We have teamed up with DraftKings to bring you all closer to the action throughout today's weigh-in. Don't forget to download the DraftKings app and sign up using the promo code MAINEVENT. All right, here we are. El Diamante, given everything you've seen, all of the trash talk, but not too much,
right,
and some of the interaction this week, what was your reading on the attitudes of both fighters on the stage tonight?
Well, I mean, for Canelo, this is nothing new to him. You could tell he's very comfortable, he's focused, he's happy, no trash talking. I've been waiting for Jermell to talk more, and all through the promotion, he was pretty relaxed, pretty focused. But here at the weigh-in, I expected a little bit more emotions from him. And as you see, as Brian asked him questions, he was getting a little bit fired up. But, you know, he's just ready. He's excited. This is new to him. He's never been in this kind of atmosphere. The lights, the cameras, the people, it's a Canelo fight. It's huge.
Yep.
And I want to see how he reacts to that when he comes out.
Stack, you saw it just as well as I did. You heard it just as well as I did. This was a pro-Canelo crowd, if ever there was one. What effect do you think that might have on Jermell? Does it raise his game, or could it potentially derail things?
Well, it should raise your game. You're fighting the face of boxing. This is your moment to be considered one of the best fighters ever. You know, you have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. So that could only be positive and be motivation for him to come and have a great show come Saturday night. But like we all know, we know who he's up against. We know what Canelo brings and the power he brings to this fight. So it's going to be exciting. But, you know, this is definitely a Canelo crowd, but I'm not mad at it because he's earned it.
Right, he definitely has earned it, indeed. Now, El Diamante, a lot has been made about the size. This, of course, is Jermell Charlo coming up 2 additional weight classes. But if you talk to Derek James, he's like, these are both blown up 154-pounders. When you saw them here, because of course this was a ceremonial weigh-in, they had waited earlier this morning, they had a chance to rehydrate. I will tell you, Canelo looked a lot bigger than he has all weekend. It must have been the clothing or something. Did you get that read as well?
Yeah, I got the same feeling. Me and Stacks, we looked at each other. He's like, look at Canelo. I said, man, he looks huge. He looks huge. And you still got another 24 hours before they get in the ring. So he's going to get bigger, you know. I think that's going to be a big problem for Charlo. You know, that he needs to really not fight off the emotions of the crowd, you know, because he needs to stick to his game plan. He's got the height. He's got the reach. Keep him at bay with the jab. Maneuver him with the jab. Everything from the outside. Everything long. Hold him in the inside. Get back in the outside again. Stay in the center of the ring. And just don't get in the slugfest with Canelo. The thing is, can he do that for 12 rounds consistently? We don't know. The second half of the fight, that's what we're going to be able to tell if Charlo could take the constant pressure. I really believe that Canelo really prepared himself for this fight. He's really up for it. He's motivated. His last 2 fights maybe didn't look that great. You know, he had a wrist problem, I believe. Yep. But he trained up in Lake Tahoe, high altitude. I saw he did 14 4-minute rounds, 30-second rounds. I mean, he wants it. He's trying to prove something, you know. He wants to prove something to himself and also to Charlo. He wants to prove that he's got skills. So it's going to be a hell of a fight. That's why we're here, and I'm super excited about it.
BC, I hand it back to you here. Welcome back.
Hey, well,
great job on stage. Great job. You were there. You talked to him. Tell me what you saw.
Look, I saw a very confident Jermell Charlo. Not the spicy. I thought that if it was going to break out, it would happen at the weigh-in, maybe a little push, whatever.
You were hoping for it.
No message, I guess, was necessarily needed to be sent. I've heard some split on social media, people saying, look, I think Jermell looks dialed in, like I've been saying, almost like a hitman. On the flip side, you get some people say, hey, maybe the moment is getting too big for him. No, I saw a confident guy ready to deliver. Obviously, Canelo's been here a million times, and boy, did he look good up there on the scales. But for the first time at 168, seeing Jermell put on that weight, I'm ready for a real fight on Saturday night. Canelo, obvious, the favorite for a reason. But when you want to talk about crowd pops, gentlemen, obviously this was a, almost 99% Canelo crowd.
Sure was,
a lot of Jesus Ramos Jr. fans here when we're talking about who sort of could be the next Canelo. We know the pops David Benavidez got in March here in Las Vegas.
Even Elijah Garcia.
They love them, the youngster there who's got a big opportunity, Jesus Ramos Jr. in that co-main event slot against Erickson Lubin. But good turnout, good energy. We got 2 guys that are ready to go on Saturday. I'm in.
Stack, what do you make of the weight and how each guy looked here? Obviously, we're talking about how big Canelo was. Charlo looked like himself, and I was thinking you don't want to be too different. You still want to be who you are, just maybe a little bit more heft to deal with some of the power that Canelo brings. I think if that's the goal, mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, he looked the same. I think he's a little bit more poised than he normally is around weigh-in time, but Canelo was obviously yoked. Like, Canelo looked like he just left the weight room, and he's trying out for an NFL linebacker next week. Canelo looks yoked, so I don't think that's a good thing for Jermell. But one thing about it, I love the fact that the confidence in Jermell, the belief in himself, and the willingness to go up 2 weight classes to be great.
What do you make of what's on the line here for both guys? Raul?
Dare to be great.
Oh, apparently all
nice win.
That was on the line.
Contact.
That was on the line. They're both there. I mean,
it got my knee. I'm all right.
He's going to have a bruise later.
He's doing something that not that many people have done. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard did it when he fought Marvin Hagler. I believe Tommy Hearns did that. Roy Jones did that. And
Adrian Broner did it against Paulie Malignaggi. Let's not forget that as well.
Come on,
right?
let's not talk about Adrian Broner. But yeah, I mean, he's trying to do something that not that many guys have accomplished. And if he's able to do that, I mean, that means he's somebody that's
well,
really
look, it's
special.
been done before,
really
but
special,
it hasn't been done moving up this much against a guy who's
one shot, 14 pounds.
Great.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the Ray Leonard Hagler situation, it is just that. But he's got to go up there. You said it earlier, Steven. There's a go. This is a legit go of the game in Canelo. Could not be a taller task for Jermell, but he looks ready. He looks ready to play ball.
I might be saying his name wrong, but it's Inoue.
Yes, Inoue.
He did it. And he did it with flying colors against my boy, a cool boy. So it can be done.
It absolutely can be done. And Canelo's the kind of heavy hitter up there. Did you agree that, like, I haven't been to a Canelo fight since the Plant fight. He looks bigger than
he looks more etched and carved. I don't think he paid for the abs in the same way Oscar De La Hoya, his former promoter, did. But I mean, he looked chiseled and ready. Look, I've said it all week. I love not the excuses, but the reasoning Canelo said it when he says, hey, I kind of looked old too. You know what I mean? We're going to get an old Canelo or the Canelo of old. I do believe him in terms of the left hand injury, preventing him from training at full speed. He does keep a very busy schedule. He didn't look 33 with miles on there. You know what I'm saying? He looked like the champion that we know him to be and why he's the rightful betting favorite. I think the whole key to this fight, though, is just we know Charlo is a wild card. How big? How big of a wild card is he? How big? I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. We thought this was going to be Jermell. Jermell got the call. Jermell may be in a better spot right now to pull this upset. We'll have to find out. Some rumors that Jermell could be here, though.
We saw him.
You did see him?
Yes, he is here. He attended. Now, again, I don't know what it will mean. I know that they have had as twins, an up and down relationship. I think is probably a good way to put it. But I think it's probably also a good sign that Jermell is here, right? Wouldn't you agree?
It's a great sign. Yeah. One thing about it, they fight all the time, and before it became popular to the media, they always had disagreements like this. But when it comes time to fight, when it comes down for one of your brothers putting his life on the line, they're gonna be there to support each other. You don't have to worry about that.
Fair enough. BC, also on that stage, you were talking about how some of the other guys getting pops. Sure. Mario Barrios getting a pop against Ugas. You mentioned Jesus Ramos getting a big pop. I was saying before, Elijah Garcia getting a big pop. They put on this card intentionally, obviously, a lot of other standout Mexican talent, but it's your belief that Ramos, outside of Canelo, got the biggest pop. Why would that be the case?
He's young, 22 years old. He's unbeaten. He's got a fun action style. You hear him serenading his own fans in Spanish there. The Mexican fans love to cling to somebody who's got that same identity as them, wants the action. Like El Diamante.
That's right.
Wants to smoke and comes to fight.
Big huevos. Big
and let's be honest here.
Yes. That's what people want to see,
El Grande, Los Grandes. There's obviously so much attention on Canelo all the time because he's the king. We know that. He's fighting at 168. But win or lose for Jermell Charlo, we know how busy that 154-pound division is. Whoever wins this Ramos versus Erickson Lubin fight is going to be in prime position for a big fight. I know that's a big division with Tim Tszyu. Is Errol Spence moving up? Is Crawford moving up? We're not really sure. But this is the co-main event for a reason. And Raul, I think Jesus Ramos could be special.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I see in Jesus Ramos. He's a young guy, had a big amateur background. But, hey, let's not count Lubin out because I've known Lubin back in the amateur days. He was a decorated amateur. He's been in some wars. He's got the experience over Ramos. And I think he's got a chance. You know, he is a little bit chinny, but he does have the skills. But Ramos is a young guy that's hungry, that he's got the crowd behind him, and he's trying to prove something. So, hey, listen, we all around, we have a hell of a card. We got some great fights.
You know, if Charlo breaks through and does the unexpected, is this the biggest win for Houston since what? The 95 NBA Finals or your upset of Giovanni Lorenzo on Showtime?
The upset of Giovanni Lorenzo on Showtime. Come on, that's more important than anything. Come on. It led me to this.
It led me to this. It's worth saying, I think, BC, is that Erickson Lubin, listen, he's had some ups, he's had some downs. Yeah. He doesn't fight anything but hammers. Yep. I know he's called the hammer.
And he is the hammer.
But I'm saying, like, he doesn't take easy fights, and that has impacted his record to a degree, but also it gives me a great deal of respect for what he attempts.
I'll tell you what, the Fundura fight, that was brutal. I mean, I would, a fight like that takes a lot out of a fighter. It was, both were down, bloody. It was crazy. It was an exciting fight. And he came back pretty well after the fight when he fought Arias. I think he looked really good, really impressive. I didn't see that, he went down a couple of steps. I saw a really good, focused Lubin, and I think for this fight, he really wants it. He wants to show the people that he's still in the mix in this weight division.
And Stack, Lubin, we know can box when he wants to. It just feels like inevitably a shooter's going to shoot and he's going to let his hands go. You played with a couple, shooting guards like that were shoot first, shoot second, shoot third.
Last, yeah.
But you got to respect a guy who's going to absolutely bring it.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about Lubin. I didn't see in a couple of his fights where he went down. He had a couple of tough fights, but this kid is special. I don't think he would be getting these fights or be on this platform if they didn't see something in him, and he continues to get big fights.
And I'll tell you what, I also can't wait to see what happens with Barrios and Ugas. Ugas having a long layoff since Errol Spence did a number on his eye.
And his rib, and his nose.
Yeah, a whole lot. I'm curious to see what he comes back with here tomorrow night in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, with that in mind, we have a lot more to get to, but for right now in this moment, let's review a special message from our sponsor, DraftKings.
This weekend, one of the biggest fights of the year is going down on Showtime. The legendary Canelo Alvarez versus my Texas brother, Jermell Charlo.
For the big fight, we're partnering with DraftKings, giving all new customers a can't-miss offer.
Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings app now. Use promo code SMOKE when you sign up.
Stack, what's your prediction for the big fight?
My heart's saying Charlo, but I know how experienced Canelo is. He's the face of boxing, and he's been in big fights before. I think it's going to go to a decision, and I think Canelo might pull it off.
New customers, you heard Stack. Download the DraftKings app now. Use promo code SMOKE and make your picks.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use promo code SMOKE. Bet $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SMOKE only at DraftKings. The crown is yours.
And, of course, we are just one day away from the fight we're all talking about. Can't wait. Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. And as talked about, we've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to bring new customers an exciting offer for one of the best fights of recent memory. And right now, new customers who bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings app. Use our promo code MAINEVENT. And speaking of DraftKings, we got a little bit of sports wagering royalty in the house. A DraftKings betting expert, a Super Bowl champion. We're talking about Sean King right now.
Fellas, Sean King.
Big fight weekend in Vegas, man. Thanks for having me.
Doesn't get much better, right?
It does not.
I mean, you've been in a lot of big games. You won a Super Bowl. I'm still talking about that run you had on Monday Night Football against the Rams when you were suiting up for the Bucs back in the day. But you love some boxing, and you come from an area of this country where a lot of boxers come from down there in Tampa.
Absolutely. To address the first point, listen, feet don't fail me now. That's what happens when you get afraid in a football game. Big guys chasing you, run fast, get out of the way. I grew up with Winky Wright, Antonio Tarver.
Wow.
I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. Went to high school with Jeff Left Hook Lacey.
Oh, wow.
Keith Thurman now. Get my guy a big fight. He deserves it. But I'm here because I work for DraftKings and VSiN, and we want to make some money. We don't want Canelo and Charlo to be the only bank accounts that get inflated after a weekend like this. But I say this. If you're going to make money in combat sports, whether it be boxing, UFC, anything, you have to have bulletproof emotions. You can't bet with your feelings. It's not about who I want to win or who I like to win. Hope doesn't win fights. So we got to find a way. How do we make money tomorrow? Canelo's too big a favorite. $4 in combat sports because they can go to the judges. We know how sometimes that doesn't always go as what we expect.
Yeah, hard to beat Canelo by decision historically.
Absolutely. But Bivol did. So it's happened recently. I think if you like Canelo, the way to approach the fight is to go under 10.5 rounds.
Ooh.
In my opinion, if Canelo wins, it's because Charlo, who has a great chin at 154, his punch resistance did not come with him to 168. And as Canelo beats on those arms and the body, and Charlo has been susceptible to getting hit, it wears him down. Sort of like Charlo stopped Costanza. Accumulation of damage. Castano.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're not going George
Right, I'm sorry,
here.
Castano. I could see Canelo winning in that fashion. If you like Jermell, if you think that the longest layoff of his career, coming off a broken hand, going up 2 weight classes.
Oh, he's a lion, Sean. He's a lion.
His brother being here, the biggest fight he's ever been in. If he can overcome all those things, then guess what? He'll be number 1 pound for pound on my list. But the way to do it is to box, be disciplined, don't engage unless he wants to engage. I haven't seen him do that. I'm hoping he wins.
Not in a while.
Right, because I want him to win, but I got to go with the the objective way to approach this, and I think I'm going under 10.5 rounds. I think it's plus 220 at DraftKings. So that means either guy can win. The fight just can't go more than 10.5 rounds.
All right, Sean, let me ask you a question sort of generically, because Luke's been given a great analysis this week, more or less why Canelo should win. I've been trying to share with people this feeling that I've got deep inside. It's probably caused by agita, but that's fine. How live of a dog is Charlo in your mind when you are looking at these plus numbers?
Well, I think you won't know until the fight starts. So DraftKings does allow you to do live betting, which means that you can wager on the fight after the fight has started. I think there's two things you got to watch if you think Charlo's the winner. First of all, how does he react when Canelo hits him? And secondly, how does Canelo react when he hits Canelo? Charlo has knockouts, but he was not a one-punch big puncher at 54. Canelo's never even been hurt to my memory. Maybe Bivol stunned him a little bit.
He walked through Triple G's.
Right.
Wow.
He's fought Kovalev, so he's fought some
Legendary
big punches.
chin.
Right. So it'd be hard for me to think that Charlo can really get his attention, but that's something to watch early. If that happens, I wouldn't be afraid to live bet Charlo to win the fight.
Interesting. Now, if you are a believer in Charlo, are there any kind of parlays? Are there any other kind of bets that DraftKings are offering that someone who really believes in his chances?
Well, they're round props. If you know that he's going to win in round 4 or 5, I mean, you can get a great return on your investment. I'm not that smart. And
well, both of their power carries late for both of them.
It does. I would say this, though, because Jermell Charlo is plus $3 and I think 40 cents right now. You're already getting so much value.
Sure.
Put your money on him to win. You know, because for every 100, you get 340 back. So, I mean, that's a heck of a return for a night. I'm in the stock market. You don't get those kind of returns that often.
Look, the smart money, as we know, is on Canelo. The history, the experience, the size. We got to look at all those factors.
Canelo looked huge up there, right?
He did. He looked in shape.
I couldn't believe how big he looked.
He had the V.
Yep.
What do you think about the whole narrative of, are we going to see the Canelo of old or the old Canelo? That whole thing. 33 years old, and so is Charlo. The mileage is different. It just didn't look like miles on those abs up there.
It didn't, and I think there's a big prize for the winner of this. It maybe has Canelo more motivated than just beating the smaller Charlo, and that's Terrence Crawford. I mean, that's the fight that kind of ascends to Mayweather-McGregor, Mayweather-Pacquiao kind of status. So
big one.
That carrot is hanging and dangling there. I will say this about one other point on why I like under 10.5. Experiences change us. Derek James is an outstanding trainer. Took a lot of criticism from people because maybe he didn't stop the Spence fight quick enough. How does that impact if it's a one-sided fight and Canelo's weighing on Charlo? Is he more susceptible now to step in and try and save his fighter? So under 10.5 is the play. That's what I'm sticking with. We cashed a plus 260 ticket on Crawford by knockout. We gave that out. Hopefully we can turn that money into more money.
Now, Sean, look, it's the Vegas Sun, so when I bring up a question about sweats, you're going to think one thing, but now you're in the betting capital of the world, the fight capital of the world. How do you deal with the sweats of high-level wagering?
Well, I don't approach it as wagering. I approach it as investing. And so I'm very disciplined, and when I get involved, and if I get involved, because that's the great thing about being here is they got bets every day. They got games every day. You can pick and choose, but, man, it's an amazing city. Boxing is an amazing sport. I grew up around boxers. I love to see guys challenge themselves. So hat tip to both gentlemen because neither one had to take this risk. So I think it speaks to who they are and what they're trying to become in this sport.
And DraftKings, a great place to place your bets and make some money. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Sean King, great chatting with you. Where can we find your work moving forward?
Hey, you guys can find me on VSiN Prime Time from 3 to 6 Pacific, Monday through Friday. We're on YouTube television. You can also download the app and check us out.
There he is, Sean King, the Super Bowl champion. Great to chat with you, and it's been great setting the stage with you here at the outdoor weigh-in here at Toshiba Plaza, Las Vegas, all ahead of Saturday night, only on Showtime pay-per-view, Undisputed versus Undisputed, Canelo versus Charlo. Don't wait. Go to Showtime.com/PPV right now. And one more reminder, this man, Luke Thomas, myself, Brian Campbell, the Showtime pay-per-view countdown show. It begins 5:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The Showtime Sports YouTube channel. We have a trio of undercard fights and more analysis to get you fired up. But for my fantastic crew, Raul Marquez, Steven Jackson, Sean King appearing, that's LT. This is BC, the co-host of Morning Combat. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you Saturday night.
Welcome to MGM Grand. Let's get ready for our grand arrivals. Let's meet our opening bout. Elijah Garcia taking on Armando Resendiz.
I know it's going to be a real tough one. I'm coming out fast.
Me gusta dar espectáculo, me gusta estar bien preparado para brindarle buenas peleas a las personas.
Our second fight on the Showtime pay-per-view, your Denis Ugas versus Mario Barrios.
Que he cesado hacer lo que hago yo, que es pelear fuerte cada asalto como siempre, y especialmente, como siempre digo, darle la mejor pelea a los fans.
This is my time. You know, I'm a full-fledged welterweight now. It's time to take over.
Our co-main event, Jesus Mono Ramos taking on Erickson Hammer Lubin. A massive fight in the super welterweight division.
Win over Lubin on this stage, it just catapults my career. It's an exciting fight, man. It brings out the crowd.
Fighting a young gun like this, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to give the fans a show, and I plan on coming out victorious in impressive fashion.
We are just beginning. It all leads up to Canelo versus Charlo.
This weekend, one of the biggest fights of the year is going down on Showtime. The legendary Canelo Alvarez versus my Texas brother, Jermell Charlo.
For the big fight, we're partnering with DraftKings, giving all new customers a can't-miss offer.
Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings app now. Use promo code SMOKE when you sign up.
Stack, what's your prediction for the big fight?
My heart's saying Charlo, but I know how experienced Canelo is. He's the face of boxing, and he's been in big fights before. I think it's going to go to a decision, and I think Canelo might pull it off.
New customers, you heard Stack. Download the DraftKings app now. Use promo code SMOKE and make your picks.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use promo code SMOKE. Bet $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SMOKE only at DraftKings. The crown is yours.